I'm Sophia Miller, and at 28 years old, my life in Willow Creek, Colorado was a carefully crafted rhythm. Each sunrise brought the promise of a quiet gym session, a sacred hour where the clang of weights and the hum of the elliptical were my only companions. My job as a graphic designer often left my brain buzzing with deadlines and client demands, so the gym, especially the 6:30 a.m. slot, was my sanctuary. It was where I cleared my head, where I pushed my limits, and where I felt most in control. I had been a member of the same gym for 4 years, knew the staff, knew the regulars, and had an unspoken understanding with everyone about respecting each other's space and equipment. I was proud of my dedication, the consistent effort I put into staying strong, both physically and mentally. My water bottle on the little shelf next to the cable machine, my phone propped up with my workout playlist. Those were the silent signals that I was deep into my routine, unbothered and unbothering. That sense of peaceful routine shattered one Thursday morning, not with a crash, but with a cold, entitled stare. I was in the middle of a particularly challenging set on the cable machine, feeling the burn in my muscles, my focus entirely inward, when I became aware of a presence. A woman, sharp-featured and radiating impatience, stood so close to the machine that I could feel her breath. I finished my reps, wiped down the handles, and then with a polite smile asked if she needed something. Her response was instant and biting. She said without preamble that she had been waiting for this machine, that I had been on it for far too long, and that it simply was not fair. I explained calmly that I had quite a few sets left, but I offered for her to work in between my sets. It was a common courtesy, a way to share equipment in a busy gym. She scoffed, a tiny dismissive sound. She did not want to work in, she said. She wanted the machine, and she declared that I should have a time limit, as if she were the arbiter of gym rules. I told her there was no time limit policy at this gym and again apologized that she had to wait. Then I turned back to begin my next set, hoping that would be the end of it. It was not. She huffed and stomped off, returning moments later with one of the newer staff members, a young man who looked a little overwhelmed. The woman dramatically pointed at me, accusing me of hogging the equipment and being inconsiderate. The staff member, looking from her to me, asked how long I had been using the machine. I truthfully told him about 20 minutes. He nodded, then politely but firmly explained to the woman that there was no time limit on equipment and that I was welcome to continue my session. This only seemed to fuel her fire. She demanded to speak to a manager, her voice rising with each word. The manager, a kind woman named Brenda who knew me well, reiterated the same policy. The woman, eyes blazing, then declared she was going to cancel her membership, signed some papers at the desk with an air of theatrical defiance, and stormed out, leaving a lingering chill in the air. I finished my workout, but the peaceful flow of my morning was broken. Even though two staff members gave me small, sympathetic nods on my way out, a knot of unease had formed in my stomach. This was the most eventful Thursday morning I had experienced in 4 years, and I had a feeling it was not over. And it was not over. For the next few days, the gym felt different. I found myself looking over my shoulder, half expecting the woman to reappear. She did not at the gym, at least, but the seed of discomfort she planted began to sprout in other, more insidious ways. Willow Creek was not a large town, and word, especially about drama, traveled quickly. I started to notice subtle shifts. A few of the regulars who usually greeted me with a friendly smile offered only a curt nod or avoided eye contact altogether. Whispers seemed to follow me from the water fountain to the locker room. One morning, I overheard snippets of a conversation between two women near the elliptical machines. Hogging the cable machine, one said, acting like she owns the place. The other replied, and then causing a scene, making someone cancel their membership. So rude. My blood ran cold. The woman had not just left, she had embarked on a quiet campaign to tarnish my reputation. She had twisted the story, making me out to be the aggressor, the selfish one, and it was working. My sanctuary was slowly becoming a place of judgment and whispered accusations. I tried to ignore it, to hold my head high and continue my routine, but the joy had seeped out of my morning workouts. I felt like an outsider in a place I had once considered home. One afternoon, I ran into Brenda, the gym manager, at the local coffee shop. She pulled me aside, her expression concerned. She told me the woman, whose name was Alina Vance, had been calling the gym daily, lodging official complaints about me, claiming I was aggressive and had created a hostile environment, even fabricating stories about me trying to intimidate other members. Brenda assured me she knew it was not true, but the sheer volume of complaints was becoming a problem for management. The gym was losing a longtime member, and Alina was relentless. Then came the true low blow. A week later, I discovered someone had posted an anonymous, scathing review about the gym online, accusing them of enabling self-important members who monopolize equipment and bully newcomers. It mentioned a specific incident, clearly referring to me, painting a picture of an unapproachable, entitled gym-goer who thought she was above the rules. My name was not mentioned, but anyone who knew me or had heard the gossip would immediately connect the dots. My photo, taken unknowingly from my personal social media and edited to look unflattering, was even anonymously uploaded alongside the review on a local community forum, asking if anyone recognized this bully. My heart sank. This was not just about a gym machine anymore. This was about my character, my peace of mind, and my standing in the small community of Willow Creek. Eleanor Vance had taken a minor disagreement and turned it into a personal vendetta, and I felt completely exposed and utterly helpless. My beloved gym had become a source of anxiety, and I felt trapped, unable to enjoy the one place that was supposed to be my escape. The feeling of helplessness lasted for what felt like an eternity, but slowly a new emotion began to simmer beneath the surface: resolve. I was not going to let Eleanor Vance drive me away from a place I loved and had dedicated years to. I would not allow her fabricated narrative to define me. This was not just a battle for a cable machine, it was a fight for my reputation, my peace, and my right to exist without being targeted by someone's baseless malice. I spent days observing, listening. I noticed Eleanor was indeed gone from my gym, but she had apparently joined the larger, flashier gym across town. I also noticed that the online review, while hurtful, seemed to be part of a pattern. I started digging, quietly researching online community forums and local business review sites. What I found was a startling mosaic of complaints, all strikingly similar. Eleanor Vance, under various usernames, had a history. A long, well-documented history of public confrontations, aggressive behavior, and then when confronted, playing the victim and launching online smear campaigns against local businesses and individuals who had dared to cross her. There were reviews about her being rude at the local bakery, demanding free items, then posting vicious reviews when denied. Complaints about her trying to return clearly used clothing to a boutique, then publicly shaming the owner online when refused. She was a serial complainer, a public aggressor, and a master of twisting narratives. Her pattern was to create a scene, then escalate it through online slander. My incident was just another chapter in her ongoing story of self-victimization and public harassment. My final attempt would not be a confrontation, but an exposure. Eleanor thrived on public drama and a sense of injustice. I would use her own tactics against her, but with truth as my weapon. I decided to gather all the evidence of her online behavior. Screenshots of her various reviews, her increasingly hostile comments, her pattern of falsely accusing businesses and individuals in Willow Creek. I found old social media posts where she complained about her membership being revoked from other gyms for unfair reasons, which sounded suspiciously like her trying to dictate rules. It took weeks, but I painstakingly compiled a detailed, factual account of Eleanor's history, highlighting the striking similarities to my own situation. My plan was not to shame her personally, but to expose her consistent pattern of behavior to the community, showing that her complaints were not isolated incidents of injustice, but a deliberate manipulative tactic. The gym was going to host an open house, a community event to welcome new members and celebrate long-standing ones. It was a perfect opportunity, a public forum to present the truth without resorting to gossip or further drama. I approached Brenda, the manager, showing her my research. Her eyes widened as she read through the compiled evidence. She had suspected Eleanor was a problem, but seeing the full scope of her online reign of terror in Willow Creek was a revelation. Brenda, seeing how much this was affecting me, agreed to support me. On the day of the open house, the gym was bustling. I felt a nervous tremor in my hands, but a fierce determination in my heart. Brenda made an announcement, welcoming everyone, and then she introduced me, saying I had something important to share with the community, something that impacted the spirit of their shared space. I stepped forward, my voice clear despite the slight tremble. I did not mention Eleanor by name at first. Instead, I spoke about the importance of respect, about shared spaces, and how easily a single negative voice could poison an entire community. Then I presented my findings. I projected the compiled screenshots of Eleanor Vance's online history onto a large screen, blurring out any personal identifying information other than the usernames and the recurring themes. I showed how she had consistently attacked local businesses, how she twisted facts, and how my own experience was just one of many. I explained calmly and factually exactly what had happened on that Thursday morning and how it perfectly fit her established pattern of creating conflict and then playing the victim. I did not accuse, I simply laid out the evidence. The room fell silent, a palpable shift in atmosphere. People murmured, some recognizing the usernames, others remembering similar incidents. I spoke not of revenge, but of reclaiming my peace and ensuring others in Willow Creek would not fall victim to the same kind of public harassment. I finished by saying that while I believed in second chances, I also believed in accountability and that a community thrives when truth and respect are valued above manipulation and malice. I was met with a wave of applause, heartfelt and warm. The sense of relief that washed over me was immense. The consequence was not a dramatic confrontation, but a quiet, powerful vindication. The story spread like wildfire, not as gossip, but as a shared understanding. The online review targeting me and the gym was quickly flagged and removed by the community forum administrators who had also been watching Eleanor's activities. Soon after, the other gym in town, where Eleanor had migrated, quietly revoked her membership. Her online accounts, once her weapon, became her undoing as people recognized the pattern and refused to engage. I started seeing familiar, friendly faces at the gym again, their smiles genuine, their greetings warm. My sanctuary was restored, stronger than before, built on a foundation of shared understanding and community support. I continued my 6:30 a.m. routine, but now with a renewed sense of peace, knowing that I had not allowed a bully to dictate my life. I had stood up for myself, not with aggression, but with truth and resilience. My reputation was not only repaired, but fortified. Months later, as I was leaving the gym, Brenda stopped me. She had a mischievous glint in her eye. She told me Alina Vance had tried to apply for a marketing position at a design firm in Willow Creek. It was a small town, and the firm's owner happened to be a regular at my gym, a woman who had been present at the open house. Alina's application was politely but firmly declined. The owner had mentioned, quite casually, that they valued employees who contributed positively to the community, both online and offline. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge is simply letting the truth speak for itself and watching karma deliver its poetic justice, one quiet, informed decision at a time.